We are living through one of the biggest technological shifts in history, and it's happening way faster than anyone thought possible. So, as we look at 2026, we need to get a clear picture of what the world of artificial intelligence really looks like. Let's dive into the state of the AI revolution. Right off the bat, here's the one number that changes everything: 4 months. That's how long it now takes for the core power of AI to double. Not that long ago, we were blown away by a 7-month doubling time. This compression, this incredible speed up, sets the stage for everything else we're about to talk about. The entire game has changed. So let's start by unpacking this great acceleration. We're going to look at the fundamental shifts happening under the hood that are pouring gasoline on the fire of AI's growth. Okay, so the single biggest driver here is this massive leap from just processing information to actually reasoning. Think about it. We've gone from AIs that were basically glorified search engines, finding and sorting stuff that already existed, to a whole new class of models that can genuinely reason. They can use multi-step logic to come up with completely new solutions to problems they've never encountered. That jump right there, that's the engine of this entire revolution. But here's the thing. This progress is not a smooth, straight line. Not at all. It's what people are calling a jagged frontier. You have an AI that can perform at a superhuman level, solving protein folding problems that stumped scientists for decades, or writing incredibly complex code, but then it's just kind of average at writing a simple professional email. And it can totally bomb a basic riddle that a 5-year-old would get instantly. This weird, uneven landscape of abilities is one of the most important things to understand about where AI is right now. And that jagged frontier, well, it creates some serious challenges. There are really 3 big bottlenecks slowing things down. First is capability, just the weird gaps and weaknesses in what AI can and can't do. Second is process. It's actually really hard to jam these futuristic tools into old-school business systems. And third is something totally new: verification. This is a whole new job for humans, which is basically checking the AI's homework to make sure it's accurate and makes sense. Now, this whole revolution isn't just happening on screens and in servers. There is a massive, real-world, physical, and financial infrastructure being built out at a mind-boggling speed to support this new AI economy. And the scale of this build-out is just staggering. Get this. For the first time in modern history, we are spending more money building infrastructure for machines than we are for people. The money that used to go into shiny new office towers is now being funneled into building massive data centers. It's a profound economic flip that tells you everything you need to know about where the future is heading. Naturally, when you see this much money moving this fast, it makes people nervous. It raises a huge question about whether this whole thing is sustainable. Is this incredible boom just a hype bubble, a giant house of cards waiting to collapse? A lot of that anxiety comes down to this one concept: circular revenue. Here's how it works. You've got the big AI labs, the huge cloud companies that provide the computing power, and their biggest customers, and they are all investing huge amounts of money in each other. It creates this self-fueling loop, which is great for growth, but it also makes you wonder how much of this is real, organic demand versus just the same pot of money being passed around a closed circle. And fueling this whole thing is a flat-out, ferocious arms race. The title of Best AI Model changes hands constantly. One quarter OpenAI is on top. The next, Anthropic blows past them. Then Google's Gemini takes the crown. And then some new player comes out of nowhere and leapfrogs everybody. In this world, nobody stays king of the hill for long, and that just pushes everyone to invest more and innovate even faster. So, with all that context, let's look at the bottom line. How is AI actually creating real, tangible value and changing the way we all work? Well, the verdict is in, and it's pretty decisive. Forget the hype, forget the bottlenecks for a second. The data shows that an overwhelming 82% of companies using AI are already seeing a positive return on their investment. This isn't some far-off promise, it's real economic value being created today. But it's really important to separate the hype from the reality of how they're getting that return. You hear a lot of talk about fully autonomous AI agents that will do our jobs for us, but the spending tells a very different story. Right now, for every $1 companies spend on those futuristic agents, they're spending $10 on assistants and co-pilots, tools designed to help humans, not replace them. And you can see this human-AI partnership creating huge waves in areas like software development. There's this thing called vibe coding, where developers use natural language to tell an AI what they want to build. This has caused a 25% explosion in the number of new mobile apps being released. And it's totally changing the job of a software engineer. It's less about writing every single line of code and much more about being an architect and, you guessed it, verifying what the AI produces. And here's a really surprising impact that's just starting to emerge. AI is becoming an incredibly powerful way for businesses to find new customers. It turns out, when someone is referred to a website from an AI chatbot, they are way more engaged. They spend 3 times longer on the site and are 40% more likely to actually buy something compared to someone who just came from a Google search. This is cracking open a whole new frontier for advertising. Okay, so for this last part, we have to talk about the most important piece of the puzzle, the human equation. What does all this mean for jobs, for society, and for how we feel about this new world? What's happening right now is really a tale of two labor markets. It's a total paradox. The jobs that you'd think are most threatened by AI, the ones with high exposure, are actually seeing wages and job openings go up. But at the exact same time, hiring for entry-level, early career jobs is absolutely falling off a cliff because AI is automating all the junior-level tasks that used to be the first rung on the career ladder. And this forces us to ask a really tough question. It's not just about what we can automate, but what we should automate. You can think of it in terms of zones. There's the green light zone, tasks like data entry, where the AI is good at it and humans would love to get rid of the work. But then there's the red light zone, things like therapy, where the AI might become capable, but we as a society just don't want a machine doing that job. Figuring out where to draw those lines is going to be one of our biggest challenges. Because there's this massive, growing disconnect. Inside the AI industry, there's all of this excitement about progress and breakthroughs. But for the general public, there's a growing anxiety about the absolute flood of low-quality, weird, AI-generated content that's taking over the internet. And that gap, that feeling, can really be summed up by Merriam-Webster's word of the year, slop. So here's where we land. The technology is moving at an unbelievable pace. It's creating real economic value and rewiring how we work. It's also creating a messy reckoning in the job market and new anxieties in our culture. There is no question that AI is reshaping our world, and that leaves us with the real takeaway. The most critical work isn't just about building better AI anymore. It's about us, all of us, choosing how we want to reshape our world to integrate this technology with purpose.